For decades, he was one of the most powerful men in African Christianity. He was called the prophet with millions of followers and heads of state in his front row. In January 2024, 3 years after his death, the BBC released an investigation, and what was inside it changed everything. TB Joshua founded the Synagogue Church of All Nations in the 1990s. At its peak, tens of thousands of pilgrims flew in every week from Europe, South Africa, and the Americas, believing they will be healed of cancer, HIV, blindness, and the likes live on television. 150 people lived in his compound full time as disciples, most of them teenagers that were recruited from Europe. He died in January 2021, aged 57, while preparing a sermon. The BBC spent over 2 years investigating. They spoke to over 30 different members from Nigeria, UK, South Africa, Germany, and the United States. What they discovered was a compound operating as a closed world of its own. People cut off from their families, monitored by armed guards, subjected to physical abuse and manipulation for over 2 decades. Multiple women alleged that TB Joshua abused them, claiming that it was for their salvation and that God required it. One woman said she was a member for over 14 years, and according to her testimony, she was throughout the entire time, with the most recent event that she described occurring in 2019, 2 years before he passed away. And the sexual abuse was not the only thing the BBC uncovered. In September 2014, a 6-story building in the Skoan compound collapsed. 114 people died. 84 of them were South Africans who had traveled to Lagos to receive healing. TB Joshua blamed a mysterious aircraft circling the building, but the Lagos State coroner ruled criminal negligence. The building had more flaws than its own foundation could even support. The BBC found that church officials blocked rescue workers from the scene for hours. Bodies were removed using Squan ambulances to hide the real death toll. Bereaved family members were offered cash and told not to speak to the media. 116 people died, and TB Joshua was never charged with anything. When BBC journalists tried to film the church compound from a public street in Lagos in March 2022, the church security guards opened fire on them. The crew was detained for hours and the documentary was still published. The witnesses still spoke. Scoan denied everything, calling the allegations satanically malicious, and no criminal prosecution has been opened in Nigeria. No independent investigation has been launched, and the church continues to operate till today under TB Joshua's widow. One witness said it simply: how is somebody like that permitted to walk free? You've got this man who positioned himself as a father and went on to abuse all these people who called him daddy. The BBC documentary is on YouTube. You can go and watch it for yourself. Follow for more stories that need to be told.